Hi, this is a quick tutorial on how to use the new Space Combat 2 Gyropod. To start with, we're going to need three things. We're going to need a ship core, we're going to need the gyropod, and we're going to need a chair. And of course a fourth thing, a ship to put it on. Let's go ahead and let's go get a chair. Doesn't matter too much which one you get. I'm just going to use the Prometheus chair. Let's go ahead, let's put this in the ship. Next, we need a ship core. To get that, just go get any prop. I'm just going to use this barrel here. Then go to the Tools in the Space Combat 2 tab, select Ship Cores, and click on the barrel. Now we'll just go ahead and put this in the ship, doesn't really matter too much where. Next, we're going to need the gyropod itself. To do that, again, go to the Space Combat 2 tools, and under Ship Tools, find the gyropod spawner. Now, before you spawn the gyropod, there's a few settings that you should take note of, especially if you have a small ship. So to start off with, you have the entity settings. These are settings that are applied per ship. So if you put this, say the pitch turn speed multiplier all the way down, then you're not going to be able to pitch your ship up or down. Now, this will affect anybody who flies your ship because it's a per ship setting or entity setting. Going through the settings here, we have your turn speed multipliers. These affect how fast you can turn your ship. You have acceleration multipliers. These affect how quickly your ship will accelerate in a direction. Most commonly this is used for slowing down the acceleration because on small ships it can accelerate really quickly and be a little difficult to fly. And finally there's other entity settings. Now, for the most part you should probably leave these three settings alone, but they're there in case you want to adjust them. The first one here, Enable Auto Parent, should usually be left enabled. Most users have no reason to turn this off. It's only there for advanced users who know what they're doing. The full throttle angle is basically how far away from the forward direction of your ship you have to look to achieve maximum turning acceleration. Finally, there's the dead zone. This also affects turning. It's basically a small area in the center of your screen where you will not turn the ship by looking there. The next section is player controls. In here you can set settings that will affect every ship that you fly. So you can change whether or not roll lock is enabled, which will prevent the ship you're flying from rolling around while you're flying. You can enable keyboard turning, which will allow you to turn the ship with the keyboard instead of the mouse. And then finally, after that, you have bindings for all of the controls to the ship. You can override any of these at any time and set them to anything that you'd like. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's spawn the gyropod. Now, the best place to put the gyropod is in the center of your ship, because the gyropod itself is what the ship will pivot around. So, just as an example, if I was to put the gyropod at the front of the ship, then when the ship turns, it's going to basically act as though the gyropod here at the front is its center of mass, and it will probably be a little weird. So generally, just place it in the center of the ship somewhere. Doesn't have to be exact, just close. Now that we have everything we need, let's go ahead and weld it all together. Now that everything is welded together, We only need to do one more thing for this to work, which is to get the Gyropod spawner tool out, right-click the Gyropod, and then right-click the chair. In the chat, you will see that the vehicle has been linked to the Gyropod. Now we can go into the ship, close the door, sit down, and the Gyropod will activate. Now that your ship flies, you should probably look into putting some life support in it so that you don't die when you're flying around in space. That's all for this video.